Here are things I wish I knew before I started using Procreate for calligraphy. I've broken it down into 4 different categories. If you're a beginner, make sure to watch the entire video because I guarantee you that these will be a time saver for you. First thing I would say, create your perfect brush. I'm actually going to show you how I customized my brush that I use. If you've watched some of my shorts, you've probably noticed that I do tend to use the same brush. Here's how I made it. So to create the brush, you're going to select the brush pen under the Calligraphy tab. You're going to duplicate that brush by swiping to the left, and you're going to select the duplicate. This just ensures that you keep the original as is. First, you're going to go to the stabilization tab. You're going to increase the streamline amount to the max, increase the stabilization amount to 50%. Next, you're going to go to taper and you're going to increase the size, opacity, and the tip to the max and the pressure to around 90%. You're going to jump to rendering and you're going to change the mode to uniformed. Now you're going to go to Apple Pencil, reduce the size to around 66%, the flow to 0. Next, you're going to go to properties, reduce the maximum size to 85%. You can go to about this brush to rename your brush. And you're done. Now you created the brush that I always use, and it is definitely beginner friendly, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. The second thing is to take advantage of the layers on Procreate. Here I wrote, you can do it all on one layer, which in my opinion is a mistake. So if I wanted to fix the layout, I could either write everything again on a separate layer, or I would select the word that I want to move, like for instance this U, and move it around. But to make it easier, I'm going to show you guys how to put each word on its separate layer so it's easy to move around going forward. So you're going to hit the select button and select around the first word, swipe up with 3 fingers and select cut and paste. And you're going to go back to the original layer and you're going to do the same thing with the next word. And you're just going to keep repeating these steps until you do it for each word. And there you go. Each word is now on its separate layer. So it's much easier to move the words around separately and also to resize if you need. Like so. Third thing is consistency in your lettering. Taking advantage of 2 features on Procreate, which are the grid and the opacity feature. So to access the grid, you're going to go to Actions, the Canvas, and Edit Drawing Guide. At the top, you'll see you can change the color of your grid, left being the darkest and right being the lightest. At the bottom, you'll see you can change the grid size, the thickness of the lines, and the opacity of the lines. So once you've selected your settings, now you can start lettering. Here, it helps you get an idea as to what the max height for the ascending letters and for the descending letters. So moving on to opacity, which is really helpful for practicing, you're going to add a text in a font that you want to try to emulate. And then you're going to reduce that opacity, add another layer, and that's the layer you're going to start practicing on. You can either try to copy it exactly or just use it as a template to practice. Another tip is instead of using a word to practice on, you can just type in the alphabet in a certain font and you pretty much created your own worksheet. And on the topic of worksheets, I actually have 2 worksheets available on my Etsy store. So if you guys are interested, I'll leave the link down below. The 4th category, Procreate Effects. These will definitely elevate your lettering. As you saw earlier, I separated all of the words on layers. I actually grouped them into one group and duplicated that and flattened that so I'm able to color in all of the words at once by using color drop. So how to use color drop is selecting the color that you want, dragging it from the top right into the word that you want to color in. Now, if you want to color in more words, all you're going to do is you're going to drag your color into one word and move your pen to the right to increase the threshold. Next, I'm going to show you how to add the effect of a shadow. Duplicate your completed lettering and darken that color by going to adjustments and reducing the brightness. Once that's reduced, select layer and you're going to move it to the bottom right. I personally like to move it this way because I just envision that the light is coming from the top left. And once you're happy with this placement, grab that color and connect the lines and color in accordingly. And last but my very favorite is Gaussian blur. I'll be showing you how to add this effect to your shadow. So you're going to duplicate your shadow layer. You're going to select it, go to adjustments, select Gaussian blur, move your pen to the right to increase your blur, and move your pen to the left to reduce it. And it just adds so much depth to your lettering. So there you have it. These are the things I wish I knew when I started using Procreate for calligraphy. It saved me so much time. To be quite honest, when I started using Procreate, I was pretty discouraged because I just didn't understand why I wasn't getting the same effects other people were getting with their lettering. I had to play around with Procreate, try to figure out what my style was, what effects I can use, and YouTube definitely helped with that. And also just, again, playing around myself. So feel free to play around with all those effects. Let me know what kind of content you guys would like to see next. If you guys have any tips yourselves, feel free to share them in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications of new videos. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.